The videos I've seen of Charlie Kirk getting assassinated today were some of the most disturbing and gut-wrenching things I've probably ever seen in my life. As Muslims, as Christians, as decent human beings, we should not be celebrating the loss of another human life, especially in such a brutal way. However, am I mourning his death? Absolutely not. As a Muslim, when I saw that video, I was sick to my stomach. I was shaking. I had more of an urge to throw up than I did to jump around and celebrate the loss of another human life. However, as a Palestinian from Gaza, I have no happy feelings just as much as I don't have any sad feelings. I am in no way mourning Charlie Kirk's death. The one and only thing that I will empathize with are the two little girls that lost their father in such a tragic and brutal way. As for his wife and his conservative adult fandom, I hope they mourn him just as long as we mourn Hind Rajab, who was shot 355 times. Hind was a life that Charlie Kirk celebrated the death of. He encouraged the loss of Palestinian lives. He pushed and swayed for thousands of votes for a president who is now deporting thousands of families. And ironically enough, 80% of his debates were on the Second Amendment, which was the cause of his death. Also the cause of thousands of children's deaths in the United States. Also the cause of unprovoked homicides in the United States. As a human, as a Muslim, I am not going to celebrate the loss of another human life. However, as a Palestinian from Gaza, I am not going to mourn the death of a person who consistently advocated for the slaughter of my people.
The death of Charlie Kirk is a reminder how we should always promote peaceful dialogue and discussion and condemn senseless violence. As somebody who disagreed with Charlie Kirk on many of his stances, we always reached out to him to have a peaceful discussion. And when I see such violence, I condemn it. I feel sympathy for his young children that are left behind, for his family and the agony that they must be going through. And as a Muslim, I'm not quick to judge. When I see a Caucasian man being dragged away in handcuffs, I'm not quick to blame Christians or Caucasian Americans or anybody else. I'm going to wait till the facts come out to condemn whoever was behind this. And at the same time, I am puzzled by the fact that within minutes, President Donald Trump and Joe Biden and others were offering their tweets of sympathy and condemnation. But when children in Gaza die every single day, innocent little children that have nothing to do with anything, we don't see such sympathy from anybody. Why is one life worth more than another? We as Muslims wish peace all over the world. In America, we hope that people don't resort to violence, people resort to sitting down and having peaceful conversations. Dialogue is the way to solve issues.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. As you all know, Charlie Kirk was shot and killed today. Muslims across the internet are having many different reactions, but there's a few things I wanted to make crystal clear. Number one, Islam does not condone acts of violence like this. Not at all. This is wrong and it is not Islamic whatsoever. Now yes, Charlie Kirk did have a lot of viewpoints that were completely incorrect, completely evil, completely destructive, especially when it came to Palestine and Muslims. He was very wrong on all of these issues. Now, I do feel bad for his two baby toddlers that he left behind, but a lot of people are bringing up good points that there have been people dying in Palestine by the thousands and thousands, and these are real people as well. And it feels like we might be getting desensitized, including me, right? So please let me know what your thoughts are, and I could be wrong. I don't know.
I keep hearing people saying nobody deserves to be sniped this way, nobody deserves to go this way. We know. We've been telling you nobody deserves this. But for some reason, y'all never cared when it was the Israelis. Nobody deserves to get sniped. Breaking news, it has been confirmed that Charlie Kirk is dead. And this has been confirmed by multiple sources. And I think in times like this, especially when somebody passes away, you see a lot of the Muslim community coming and praying for this person. And I think it's only fair for us to pray for him the same way he prayed for the Palestinians. When he said this, or when he said this.
What I find ironic about all of this is that there was a woman screaming, "Oh, you're a monster, you're a monster," to a person that allegedly may have shot Charlie Kirk, right? I don't support violence or anything. And here's the thing. While I don't support violence, it's a point to think about. What about Palestine? What about Palestinian women and children? These individuals are saying that you should have sympathy for Charlie Kirk passing away. They had no sympathy for Palestinian women and children. They had no sympathy for the oppression of Muslims. They have no sympathy for Islam being mocked. But you want me as a Muslim to have sympathy. You want me to care about somebody whose morals and values were so vile and disgusting, but I'm supposed to feel bad. Yeah, I don't support violence. At the same time, he was a disgusting and horrid individual. I find it ironic that somebody who really doesn't care about gun violence and how many women and children succumb to gun violence, he gets shot for the very thing that he supported. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always deals with people justly. I hope all the supporters of Charlie Kirk understand the same torture, pain, and anguish that they feel right now is 1,000 times worse on what's happening in Palestine to women and children. If you care and you're despairing over what happened, think about what's happening in Palestine. Just a food for thought. While I, as a Muslim, I don't support any form of violence, even against those who say disgusting things about my religion and about oppressed Muslims across the globe, and I don't support any sort of violence whatsoever. Charlie Kirk has said some disgusting and nasty things about Islam and disgusting things about Muslims. He's made fun of Islam. He's made fun of the Prophet ﷺ. He's mocked and ridiculed the situation in Gaza and the Palestinian women and children that are being unalived by the Israeli government. On top of that, he has horrible takes when it comes to politics. It's ironic, the same people that want sympathy for what happened to Charlie Kirk, they have no sympathy for what's happening in Palestine. He has no sympathy for Muslims and he ridicules Islam constantly. Someone who doesn't care about gun violence here in the United States and how many people fall prey to it, women and children as well. Ironic this kind of happens to him. So those that want my sympathy for what happened to Charlie Kirk, where was his sympathy for the people that he would speak against? Innocent women and children that were hurt by his words. And you want me to be his supporter? Absolutely not.
How do you feel about Charlie Kirk's death? Look, Charlie Kirk was not the best guy. He had terrible views. He justified genocide. We don't agree with the guy. However, you don't defeat ideas through bullets. You defeat ideas through ideas. Political violence is never justified anywhere, especially in America. But it is justified everywhere outside of America when America supports it, like the bombing recently in Doha, Qatar.
Okay, so Charlie Kirk got shot and has been pronounced dead, and I'm seeing pretty mixed emotions about it. So I just wanted to mention in Islam it's haram to celebrate someone's death or be joyous about it. Even when Abu Jahl died, the Prophet didn't celebrate, he wasn't joyous, he didn't cheer, and he was like pretty much one of the worst enemies of Islam. There's also a hadith that says, do not express joy at the misfortune of your brother, lest Allah have mercy on him and afflict you. So even though his death was ironic and many of his beliefs could be seen as controversial, that does not give us a reason to make fun of his death.
The Zionist Charlie Kirk, who despised Islam and supported the murder of Muslims, has died, and shamefully, some Muslims are uttering things like rest in peace for him. Do you not fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How can you pray peace for one who lived and died upon kufr, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly says in the Quran, it is not for the Prophet and those who believe to ask forgiveness for the disbelievers, even if they are near of kin, after it has become clear to them that they are people of hellfire. Charlie Kirk was the same man who declared that Islam is not a religion of peace but a political ideology of conquest, and he also claimed that rejecting Israel is standing with the terrorists. These words are literally aid for the bloodshed of your own brothers and sisters in so many Muslim countries, yet you're crying peace over such a disbeliever. Such Muslims are literally exposing their weakness, the lack of bara'ah from the enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and their willingness to compromise the deen for literally hollow sympathy. Remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only grants mercy for the believers and not for the enemies of Allah who mock their religion until their last breath.
I don't feel sympathy for Charlie Kirk. I just don't. I don't feel sympathy for anyone who happily uses their large platform and influence to manufacture consent for the genocide in Gaza. One bullet hit that man, 355 hit Hind Rajab, and Charlie Kirk still defended Israel. When Palestinians were being torn apart in the hundreds by bullets trying to get a bag of flour for their family after being forcibly starved to the point of desperation, Charlie Kirk still defended Israel. There was a time when he said that there was no such thing as a Palestinian at all. So no, I don't feel sympathy for this. I just don't.
Charlie Kirk didn't deserve this. He said a few deaths a year are worth it if it meant preserving our God-given right to bear arms. He actively fought against women's rights. He's openly Islamophobic and he spreads anti-trans rhetoric. He supported the ethnic cleansing in Gaza and he said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. He called vaccine requirements a medical apartheid and said that empathy is a made-up word. How many children, teens, and adults have died by suicide because of his rhetoric? How many school shootings did he excuse this year? How many women died because they couldn't get access to safe abortions? How many hate crimes happened because of him? Spare me the empathy because he didn't believe in it either. And let's be clear, the only people I have sympathy for are his kids, not his wife. She chose him. She stood by him, she supported him, and she co-signed everything he said and did. She laid in bed with that man knowing exactly who he was. The only people I will feel sorry for are his children. They didn't choose this, and now they have to grow up with the weight of his legacy. Someone said that his daughters didn't deserve to grow up without a dad. Well, they had a dad, and he openly said he would force his daughters to give birth if they were raped. I think they're actually better off without him.